Uh-oh. Where's Zoom? Can you see us now?
No.
Hold up. It's delayed. It should be. I think it's like 30 seconds behind. You see us now?
Yeah. Yeah, it is delayed though. But yeah.
Can you hear us? It should be.
Yeah.
Ooh, back. I think it's like 30 seconds behind. You see us now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. We can hear you.
But yeah. Yes, it can. So I can continue.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So basically, I'm gonna just start over. I'm gonna just backtrack. So I'm gonna just backtrack to the beginning of the week, honestly. I felt like at the beginning of last week, so a week ago from today, Sunday, I was already in this mindset of it's going to be a harder week. And I honestly hate when I do things like that because if you say it's gonna be a harder week, then it's definitely gonna be a harder week. And I know more than anybody than that because I get to the end of the week and it has been hard. And I was like, well, how did you start your week off to begin with? You started off by saying it was gonna be a hard week, so that's exactly what you got. Power of the tongue. So real. So then I tried to change from that perspective on Sunday, last Sunday, when I was saying that. I was like, no, you know what? It's actually going to be a good week. Like, I'm actually going to get things done. I'm going to rest when I need to. I'm not going to try to overwork myself. And I'm not going to try to. I feel like I subconsciously tie my value into how much I do during the day. I'm not going to do that this week because I do have days where I do a lot. And at the end, I feel so tired and so burnt out. But it makes me go to sleep. So I used to do this thing where I would like work so hard all day just to be able to go to sleep at night and like feel like okay, I can go to sleep. Like I let the day tire me out just so I can go to sleep. Like it shouldn't have to be like that. But I don't do that anymore. But that's kind of how I was gonna start my week up a week ago from today. But I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. So I journaled. I journaled. I said a prayer. I read a book on Sunday, and then the rest of this week leading up to now, it was leading up to yesterday was probably one of the best weeks I had in a minute. Like it was a really good week, and I was honestly surprised by the fact that I had a good week. And I hate to even say that because, like, wow, society really got us down bad. Like you're surprised that you had a good week, but I was surprised that I had a good week. And so boom, I decided to go out of town yesterday to go visit my grandparents and also like spend a little time by myself. I went to go visit my grandma, and she's a barber. She's a barber in Gary. She lives right outside of Gary, but she goes into Gary for work and stuff. She has property in Gary. She kind of she gets back to the community in Gary a lot. So she felt like she looked at my eyebrows and was like, "Oh, let me just do this one little thing. Let me just." And I don't play. Oh, I don't play about how I look. I really am a person that just like what I like. I like things a certain way, and outside of that, like I don't really care. Like I'll rather this and nothing else. But I was down for it just because she was my grandma. She was like, she's real adamant. She's like such a boss lady. She's real adamant. She's like, no, let me just do this one thing. Just come over here. And I was just like, okay, like already knowing that I spent 5 months trying to grow them. So when she started, she brushed them up, and I was like, oh, this is how I like them. And I'm thinking she's done. I could start crying right now, Nate. It was so bad. Okay. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it. I was, I was like, oh, I like them. Like, and she was like, She was like, this is the before. And I was like, what you mean? She was like, but she's still just, she was like, but it's still just going to be one little thing. So I was like, okay. Uh, um, so then I got back down, and I'm thinking she's just going to take this one little piece because I did have this piece that I was like, okay, I kind of need to get myself. Because I like stuff done such a certain way. I do everything by myself. I do my nails by myself. I fix my eyebrows by myself. I don't get lashes, nor do I put fake lashes. I don't do the fake lash thing, but I just like what I like, and if you want something done right, you really do it yourself, and I'm kind of that type of person, honestly. But so she was going, and next thing you know, I just felt hair falling down. I was like, wait, and she was like, oh, you want to see? I looked in that mirror, and the damage was already done to a point where it's like I couldn't have told her to stop because now the other one has to look the same. I can't just have one looking one way, one look the other. Now the other one has to match. And the amount of time she spent on the other one trying to get it like the other one, It was burning. I just felt the razor. She just kept going, and they don't look bad right now. But that's because I tried to fix. But they still look. They was way more thicker than this. When I'm talking thicker, I could cry right now. Yeah, they were. They was so much thicker, and like I. It's not even the fact that. I mean, it is the fact that she messed my eyebrows up, but it's not even the fact that I don't like them and that I actually really do hate the way that they look. It's more so the principle behind it of I spent 5 months getting this progress just for it to be like seem like it's just taken away from me. So I was more so stuck up on that. Like you spend your time working hard for something just for it to be stripped from you, just for it to be taken. And I really tried to. I was so down bad. I was walking back and forth from my room like, God, please just can you make it come back? Like I'm telling you, crying. I was bawling my eyes out. I was going through it. It's bad. I was like, God, can you please just make it come back? And they please just like, I was like, I'll do anything. Like, please just make my eyebrows come back. But yeah, I just didn't like the way that they framed my face. But more so, less of the eyebrows, and more of the fact of, wow, like I spent my time looking crazy, letting them grow out to my liking instead of messing with them and then having somebody else like take it away from me. So I was really trying to relate that to scripture. I was trying to relate that to who God is. 'Cause I was like, I started questioning. I was like, why would you let this happen? Like, honestly, why would you let her take my eyebrows from me when you know I've been trying to grow them out for the past 5 months? And I'm not an insecure person by any means, but back then I did used to be insecure about a lot of, like, I had to grow into not being an insecure person. I did used to be insecure about a lot, but like I said, my biggest the biggest advice I ever received was I'm not really insecure. It was just a lot I had to change. It was just a lot I had to learn and love about myself. But in that moment, when I was sitting looking at myself in that mirror, I was like, I don't know. I started feeling it kind of bubbling back up, and that's when I realized what God was trying to tell me in that instance. One, I need to learn how to speak up more. I give people older than me so much more authority over my life when I already know what I like. So because you're older than me and because you're a family member, it's like I kind of automatically trust you to do things with me. But it's like in the back of my mind, I know like no, like I like it this way. I need to learn how to speak up more in that instance. Like I could have just said this one thing and she wouldn't have even like touched me, but she'd be real adamant on stuff. But because she's always been like that, I've always just kind of let her do her own thing. But I feel like another thing God was trying to teach me was to like if I like something done a certain way, like say that. Like I didn't have to let her, that was my choice to get in that chair. He was like, well, you put yourself in that chair. I'm over here praying, God, why'd you let this happen? Can you please let him come back? And it's like, I didn't have to sit in that chair if I don't want to. Another thing was with the insecurities part and with the looking at myself part, I think God was trying to show me how would you feel if like what you appreciated the most or what you like desired the most, what you wanted the most was taken away from you. How would you act? Would I still be calm? Would I still say, "Oh, I'm not insecure"? Would I just still feel like this person who isn't Ooh, I'm looking for the word. Ooh, I'm looking for the word. Dang. Cuz it's like I feel like he was trying to show me would I still feel the same way I felt even if I didn't have the thicker eyebrows like I wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like would I still feel good about myself? And honestly, in that moment yesterday, I sure didn't. I was looking at myself like, ew, like the way I was looking at myself is actually crazy. I don't even talk to myself like that, but I was so upset. I was like, I do not like the way I look at all. I was saying like I don't feel that confident. I don't feel, but that's just because I like stuff a certain way. And once that stuff isn't there, then I kind of break out and I kind of start spazzing and I kind of feel like I'm falling into like this little, just having a little mental breakdown about it. But then afterwards, I'm kind of like, it's not even that deep, like it's not even like I'm still me. Like the things that I have on me isn't isn't connected to my spirit. My eyebrows isn't connected to my spirit. I'm still a good person. I'm still I'm still caring. I'm still giving. And I think I kind of connected that to my spirit like, oh, this is messed up now, everything's messed up. That's kind of the mindset I was in last night. And I feel like that's what he was trying to show me. He was like, if you didn't have these things that you worked so hard for and you thought that you like actually wanted, even and this just goes to show you like God will use anything. And it's so small. It's so small. Like he just used me and my eyebrows. Like who would think to even use that? Nobody, but God would think to do something like that because He's God. Like He's the supernatural. Like He thinks to use the things that you think He wouldn't use. So He used something that I've been working hard for, and I feel like honestly, looking at them, they ain't that bad. Like they're really not, and I'm actually like they're not that. I miss like I'm still very upset, and it's still gonna take me like a second, but it's like I have to grow to love it, just like anything else. And that's kind of me practicing what I preach, and I really say that to a lot of people. Like you just have to love to learn the things on you, because especially if you can't change it, like they're always gonna be there. And I feel like this was just my lesson to continue to love the things on me. But I was just so upset of the fact that I felt like I was being set back in a sense. But like, how is my, yeah, it's the principle. You spent 5 months trying to grow your eyebrows. But when it comes to eternal life, how is that necessarily setting me back? And I need to always tap back into that mindset. I was really feeling worldly. I was feeling like everybody else for a second. Like, just, ugh. It's still disappointing, Nate. It is. But they'll grow back and they'll probably grow back even more better. Because even the way that they grow back, I kind of didn't like the way that they grew back. So maybe this is just going to help them grow back. I'm looking at myself in the mirror, so I'm looking at it this way. Maybe this way is going to help them grow back a little more. I'm really just trying to like talk myself into like, yeah, they'll grow back better. But yeah. And then going into when I went to church this morning, I just saw it just made me look at myself so small. Not in a sense of like I'm less than, but I'm a speck here. Like it's so much. There's a bigger, wider picture, and I always remember that in these times. Like that's something I'm really good about. Remember, it's like the bigger picture. I always think more long term. I always think about what's on the other side. Like just kind of in a deeper sense. So when I went to the beach yesterday, after she did some eyebrows, that's when I went to the beach. And I was at the beach. I was crying at the beach. I had a headache because I was crying so bad because I was mad about my eyebrows. I was like, she really messed me up. Like I can't even. Okay, let it go. But yeah, but the moment that I seen the water, I felt so small. Like seeing a large body of water like that just made me look at myself like there's so much beyond the sea, literally. Like what's on the opposite side of this water? Like what's underneath this water? There's so much more out there than what I'm worried about. And that's exactly where my mindset went when I seen the water. Same thing when I went to church. I kind of still woke up like kind of sad about my eyebrows. And then I went to church and I was like, there's people at my church who literally took the bus to come here. I drove in my car that has almost full tank of gas, air conditioned to get here. Buses don't be have air conditioning, I don't think, but that don't even matter. They don't have their own vehicle to get to church. I do. And it just that also made me feel so small because I'm blessed. I have a lot of things and I'm worried about my eyebrows. Like I'm crying about my eyebrows when there's people out here. You know what I'm saying? But or also like this one dude that went to church. I actually never seen him at our church before, but he came and when I left and I was driving, I seen him walking on the street. Like he was walking somewhere else, but people walk to church. Once again, I'm in my car that's air conditioned and I'm over here crying about my eyebrows. When there's people who's walking, there's people who's taking the bus, there's a big old sea out there that's full of stuff that we don't even know about. Like stuff is just so much bigger than these little things that we worry about. Yes, it's a principle. I spent 5 months trying to grow these things because I was already quote unquote insecure about them. I didn't like them and I wanted them to look better. But I need to remember like the eternal, the bigger picture, the eternal reward from things. And it has nothing to do with my eyebrows, regardless. I'm, I'm a spirit. You know what I'm saying? I'm a spirit. We have a soul. We have a spirit. And I was just given this body. Yes, I got to take care of her, but at the end of the day, her eyebrows that I'm still probably gonna cry about for the next couple of days, but I'll get over it. Okay, I'm done.
I think you said it. You said it perfectly. Like your eyebrows, things that are on us, they're all they don't relate to our spirit at all. Like they're of our flesh. Like the desire to just look. I feel like look in a certain way. Even though I also care about the way I look. Like I do be feeling insecure if I don't look a certain way. But like you said, it's more about our spirit. Like if you were to have no eyebrows, it wouldn't relate to your spirit at all. And like I like how I talk about this a lot. 'Cause sometimes comparison can be really, really good if you use it the right way. I made a TikTok about it. Like, there's people that lay their heads to sleep on concrete, while I get to lay my head to sleep on a pillow. Speaking about homeless people,
Yeah.
it's just stuff like that. When you compare yourself, unfortunately, I have to say it like this: if you compare yourself to people that have less than you, then you'd realize there's honestly nothing to complain about. Like you said, I have a car, I have an apartment, place to live, food to eat, clothes. Some people don't have that. Some people don't have a computer, a phone, water to drink, clean water to drink.
Yeah.
There's some things that like we shouldn't complain about. And I think it's like you said, God was trying to teach you, like, would you be the same with or without your eyebrows? And I
Mm.
think it's kind of, in my opinion, it's like a way of God telling us that life doesn't always go the way we want it to. Like, we may want our hair to look a certain way, our clothes look a certain way, but you may have a bad hair day, your clothes may be a little wrinkly. Like, sometimes it's just not, you just have to suck up the truth that, hey, you just gotta go outside and get things done because the world's not gonna stop because you don't like the way you look. Like,
Yeah.
for me, I'm about to cut my hair off over the summer. And my hair is so important to me. I haven't cut hair off the top of my head since 2020. 4 years of
Mm.
progress.
Mm.
And I'm a biracial baby. My dad is Asian and my mom is black. I've used this as like a ode to them of the beauty of an interracial marriage that produced two biracial babies. And I just like the way I look. I love my hair. Like, it just looks really good. It boosts my confidence. I hated the way I looked with short hair. I didn't know how to take care of my hair back then. Like, now I'm a grown man. I know how to take care of my hair.
Mm.
But I realized, because I usually like having my hair braided. I don't like having it out. But my braider, she's Muslim, so she announced that she's done doing men's hair because she's not supposed to be alone with men. And I have respect for that. I said, I respect that, and I'm loyal to you. I'm a loyal person. I don't like the way I've seen other people's work, and I don't like it as much as you do. And I've realized that these prices are, a little ridiculous in my opinion. So, and like the products I gotta buy, like the money I'm always spending, like maybe it's a good financial decision to just cut it off. And at first, over time, I always had the fear of having to cut my hair off. Like, I remember my mom would tell me, employers will call you unprofessional for the way your hair looks. And even though I take care of my hair, I make sure it looks good. And of course, times have changed, rules, like laws have been changed, but it is a truth that there is some discrimination, especially as a black man. Like, they're gonna see, well, as a black person, they're gonna see your hair and think, oh, you look unprofessional, even though that white person has like dirty hair and have lice in their hair, whatever it's called. But it's just kind of a way for me to attack insecurity. Like, I hate the way I looked with shorter hair, but I'm a grown man. I haven't had that short of hair since like middle school, maybe even high school.
Mm.
So it's like me taking on the challenge of battling insecurity or battling the idea that I hate the way I look and building my confidence and stepping out of my comfort zone. Because I feel like I also need to teach myself how to work hard for something. So if I work hard enough to afford getting my hair done every month and getting my hair cut like 2 or 3 times a month, then you can do that. Like, but until then, put yourself through the works of having to work hard to get what you want.
Yeah.
Like, it may not be. I could be totally wrong. I could be making this up myself. Like, put myself through a challenge, but I see it as a challenge from God. Can you take on this hard, quote unquote, hard challenge in life? Even though there's people, and also I forgot to mention, I'm donating my hair to cancer patients as well. That was always my end goal when I cut my hair off. So
Really.
I saw it as an opportunity. It was like I said, I was like, hey, it's time. Some cancer patient is gonna want to look good with my hair, so it's time to give it up.
Mm.
So that's my next challenge. I'm just gonna take on a life. I think it's just something God's given me, and it's kind of like, I mean, it's obviously on the same level. It's like what's his name? Abraham sacrificing his son. Like, He took him up to the mountain. He was about to, he had all the intentions to put that knife through his body and kill him. But the guy was like, wait, I see your heart. You followed me. Your son gets to live. For me, it's like almost like God saying, are you going to take on this challenge? Are you going to make the tough decision for yourself? Are you
Mhm.
actually going to do this? Now, I'm not saying he's going to pull a wait, Nate, stop, keep your hair. Here's
Yeah.
$1 million. You can afford your hair. But I think it's more of my actually, because I made this decision in February. So it's more like, Nate, are you going to follow through with what you said? Keep up to your word? And in May or June, if you cut your hair off, are you going to cut your hair off? And how are you going to go from there?
Right. No, that's facts. I actually believe that as well. And I feel like it's also a way of like him humbling us. Because I think I got to caught up also in like the idea of like not even just how I looked by any means. That's one thing. That's when that just goes back to say when I was talking about how I feel like everything, certain things have to be okay, so I can worry about the million other things that I feel like I have to worry about. So like my appearance, for instance, I always said like I need it to look this way because I don't want to have to worry about it. So I'm kind of a little more high maintenance so I could be low maintenance so I don't have to worry about that. Like I just wanted my eyebrows to look okay enough so I can worry about other things. Now I feel like I can't because I don't like the way they look. But I feel like that was him humbling me because I got so caught up in that and not I didn't really I say all these things that I do and what I live by. But I feel like that was his way of showing me like do I really live by it? Like was I going to he wanted to see my reaction initially. And honestly, I definitely felt I'm sorry, God. I already told him I was sorry. The way I reacted was not good at all. He wanted to see if I was still going to be, you know, I mean, I still am a good faithful servant, but like, even in times of distress, how was I going to react? Even in times of this little thing, like, he's probably looking at me like, all I did was take away a couple eyebrows. Like, why are you, you know what I'm saying? But it was just his way of humbling me and seeing how I was going to react to it, which was kind of poorly. But I mean, it's all a learning experience. He's trying to
Yeah.
teach us. Yeah. So I'm also remembering that. But I don't know. I just thought it was crazy. And that just goes to show that he would literally use anything. He would literally use anything. And he would use things to see what you would do. And it's all about hold on, I got the notes right here. I learned it in church today. And that's kind of what like brought me back. Like, oh right. So it's about remember when you asked me what success is to me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so my the preacher at my church was kind of that was what he based his whole sermon off of today. What is success? And he said success is measured by where your head was when you were doing the actions. So, which it kind of I kind of related it to what I was already feeling. So when I'm doing something or even how I'm reacting to certain things, like that's what's that's where the success is. So the way I reacted yesterday to how I looked, like there was no success in that because I reacted poorly. Like I was so upset of it. Like my mindset should have been like kind of every even though it's so hard to do it in the moment, but like everything happens for a reason, or what is this trying to teach me? I wish I went right there, but I kind of went more into a spiral and then I was like, okay, what is this trying to teach me? Rather than what is this trying to teach me? And I feel like that's in those moments we have to take time to just like stop and pause and to see what is this trying to teach me rather than going crazy about it for a long period of time. Because then that just goes to show you that I kind of have a trusting problem because I didn't stop and think, what is this trying to teach me? I kind of buried myself. I literally, I don't want to say, I'm not going to say that word. I, I kind of, dang, I kind of have to say that word. I'm not saying that word on here. I just kind of buried myself for a second. Like I was just talking about myself for a second. I'll just say it that way. I was just talking about myself for a second and not trusting like the bigger picture of it all. Once again, there is everything happens for a reason. There is something bigger to why something is happening. So we just have to remove that in those moments. Yeah, that's something I'm definitely working on though, to try to go straight to okay, what is it trying to teach me, rather than like being going crazy about it for a second initially, and then okay, then what is it trying to teach me? Like, no, I don't feel like it works like that. That kind of just puts me back too. But yeah, it's good.
I know something that I struggle with is, like you said, reactions, like my initial thoughts to some things. And over the past few months since I started the podcast, like I think when I started in August of last year, and at the time, podcasts weren't really popular or as popular as they are now. Over time, I would notice like professional athletes, even some people I follow on Instagram. I would see them start podcasts like Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco, Shaquille O'Neal, now LeBron James. I'll jokingly text my friends and be like, "Oh look, they're stealing my flow." Like I started a churn
LeBron?
of podcasts.
I didn't know that. LeBron?
Yeah, LeBron has one now.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
like, I'm just sitting here joking like, hey, everybody's starting a podcast now, blah blah blah. Like everybody wants to follow them, but doesn't follow me. And like, I don't own podcasts. I don't own Christian podcasts either. Like at first, I'm just joking, but I would notice other people have Christian podcasts. That like starting one. I'm like, wait, you watch my story, you see my posts. What's going on here? And
Mm,
like, there are people my age too. There are people younger than me. So at first I'm like, yo, I'm saying the same exact things y'all are saying. Like we're talking about the same thing. We got the same reason for starting the podcast, and it's perfectly possible that nobody's seen my work. And at first, I would think, dang, like everybody's copying my flow. Like, why isn't nobody supporting me? But all these people supporting them. But then I just
yeah.
gotta like humble myself and realize they're doing God's work. They're just trying to spread the gospel just like I am. I don't own Christian podcasts. I don't own podcasts. I don't own Christianity. I don't own Zoom. I don't own any of this. They have the same right that I do. But it did like teach me at one point, like, Nate, you want to grow your audience, but you aren't working that hard. So and you could work harder. So it would tell me like you got to put in a little bit more work. But at the same time, I've come to appreciate the fact that people are using the internet and being different. People our age are being different and getting on the internet and talking about Christ because it's not popular. And the reason why I want to do this, one of the reasons I want to do this is because I want to make it popular. Not, um, I don't want the things that are popular now to stay popular. Like, it's so popular to be demonic. It's so popular to make fun of Christianity. I'm trying to just popularize it among people our age because from where I'm from, it's not just where I'm from, but I know the world in general, like, people our age, they're just not in a good headspace. Like I see
Yeah.
a lot of people in the streets doing things not supposed to be doing. I'm seeing people my age having kids, like that aren't married, have no financial stability, no job. I'm just like, we need somebody has to speak up and get people's minds right. They may not listen, but at some point God's gonna convict them. They're gonna feel that conviction. They're gonna come back to somebody's podcast, somebody's work. They're gonna hear some pastor preach. Somebody's gotta say. Somebody's gotta help them.
Yeah. Hmm. And that's kind of the position you want to put yourself in to be
Yeah,
that.
my pastor today, he was talking about why it feels like God doesn't listen to us, and he was talking from Isaiah 59 and Psalm 66. But his points were: you speak lies, you don't live the life of a Christian, you don't speak truth, and you don't call for justice. And I texted you earlier because of that last point about justice and truth, but the part about speaking out on truth, I think I relate to that because I do speak out on truth. I do speak out on things that need to be corrected in our community, especially with this podcast. I speak about things that should be fixed. Um, but I mean, I'll save what I told you about for later, another episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, something I did feel convicted about are the first 2 points. Like, am I really living the life I'm supposed to live? Do I really follow the principles I'm supposed to be following?
Mhm.
Like, am I saying the right things? And for a while, I've known that there's some things I need to change about myself. But as time goes on, the convictions get stronger, and I realize I have to change. And like, some things just need to leave my life.
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually going to be a lot of time for that. It's the perfect season for that one, to be honest. Um, yeah, that just goes to show you he's working also. Like the fact that you know that and the fact that you feel that and now that you can you know enough to actually start putting it into practice, like that's all he was trying to tell you. So I feel like yeah, there's so much. I was gonna say this thing, but I feel like we need to save it. We're gonna save it. That I'm gonna tell you about it after. But yeah, yeah. I actually think we should end there because I can go on a whole nother rant. It's coming. I can't
Okay.
right now. Yeah.
If you were in the stream, please say something in the chat. Um, it says it's one viewer. I'd like to think that it's not me. Okay, I think it's just me. The next one, not saying when. The next one, yeah, I'll promote that a lot more. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn the stream off. If you did watch, if you're here, whatever. Thanks.